Oh, man. Well, let's do a little poll check, shall we? Since everybody is on that whole thing right now, where the big news is that Donald Trump is up in the polls. But that just means that he's going up in the polls. It's somehow being reported that he's up a point in the polls when he's not. There's like two polls that are putting him above Kamala Harris. So let's take a look at our favorite aggregator. The one that puts them all together, 358. All right, well, right now, in national polls, they got Harris up 48 to 46. Let's see. Any of these. Do you notice anything here? I don't see Trump's name plus anywhere. Then you got these two from Marquette that play some 50-50 dead even locked heat. And then we start getting to the state polls. In Wisconsin, 58.1 to 57 or 40 or 48.1 to 47.5. That's a little too close for comfort. Same with Pennsylvania, 48.1 to 47.4. I mean, the thing is that hasn't changed, really. Like, Trump went down a little bit to 46.4 in mid-September, but favorables, 46% favorable to 47% unfavorable of Kamala Harris. Interesting. Okay, well, 43% to 52%. Okay, like, so neither of them are exactly what I would call the definition of popular. Where? Where's the betting polls? Those are the ones that I want. Favorability, approval. No, we don't want any of that. Let's go back to national. Okay. Well, I can't find the betting numbers on this one. Interesting. Well, anyway, I wanted to get to this. Harris interview with Fox News showcases a change in strategy for Democrats with the network, which, good. This kind of forces them, number one, into a little bit of a corner of legitimacy that I don't think they would have found themselves in if she didn't make the push for it. Because it's one of those things where they have to feign decorum. So they're going to let her on. They're going to give her a tough interview, obviously. They're not going to just let her skate. But the fact that she was even willing to do it, meanwhile, Donald Trump is canceling interviews left and right. This isn't just something that I'm just like, this isn't just a talking point. He's canceling interviews that would have been favorable to him. The CNBC economic one, that was a big one. I could not believe it. And also watching the guy's reaction when he had to report that Donald Trump was no longer coming. Ooh, that was funny because he is the definition of a Donald Trump lapdog. He loves everything that guy does. So when that guy was just like, well, it seems that Donald Trump's not going to be coming into our network, even though we had he kept reiterating, we had a scheduled interview. All right, let's take a look at this. Kamala Harris's interview with Fox News Channel's Bret Baier on Wednesday is the latest I almost said incantation. Been watching a little bit too much. I checked out Agatha, by the way. It's okay. The latest indication that Democrats during this campaign are increasingly willing to engage with a network well stocked with supporters of Donald Trump. No kidding. Again, It's almost like you should have news people do this thing called reporting the news, where it's not just all opinion pieces, because that's all you guys got. You got so many opinion anchors that I think that's why Brett Baer's the one that is your go-to with this one, because he's the only one that you can kind of go, yeah, at least he's halfway a journalist. Since the party's convention in August, roughly twice as many Democrats have been on Fox than during the same period of time in which Joe Biden's 2020 campaign, which itself was more often than when Hillary Clinton was the nominee in 2016. According to the network, whether to ignore Fox or seize opportunities to change the viewpoints of some audience members, which I just found this out today. I did not know this, that a lot of independents, actually, it's the... what do you call it? The majority. Wow. The majority of independents actually watch Fox News. I didn't know that. Has long been the subject of an internal debate among Democrats. Biden didn't make a Fox-specific appearance during his campaign. Clinton made one such appearance during her primary campaign and another in the midsummer of 2016. The vice president, Governor Walz, and our campaign believe it is important to speak to all Americans, wherever they are getting information and entertainment, so they can hear directly from us, not through a filter. See, that's the problem, though. They're already chopping up the interview. Who Vice President Kamala Harris is what she stands for and what she's running to do, Harris campaign spokesman said. Trump grumbled on his social media feed this week about Sams, who was interviewed when... Sams? Oh, Ian Sams. Okay, yeah, he was a campaign spokesman. Okay, so Trump grumbled on his social media feed about Sams, who was interviewed Wednesday on Fox by Dana Perino, Tuesday by Martha McCallum, and Monday by Neil Cavuto. Trump says Sams virtually owns the network. He virtually owns the network. It's not worthwhile doing interviews on Fox because it's all about just about the averages out into nothing. He wrote on Truth Social, because it all just averages out to nothing. Fox News has totally lost its way. Fox News totally lost its way. Trump on Wednesday appeared on Fox hours before Harris in a pre-taped town hall meeting featuring women voters hosted by Harris Faulkner. Harris's running mate, Tim Walz, has appeared 2 weeks in a row on Fox Sunday, which runs on both the broadcast and cable news. Host Shannon Bream said she was a little bit surprised when the Democrats' campaign reached out prior to his appearance last Sunday. I bet that they actually had internal meetings about that, like whether they should let it happen or not. And the fact that they did tells you that they don't think that Donald Trump has this in the bag. Otherwise, they would just be getting on their knees again. I think folks are still undecided out there, Wall said. I appreciate you. You ask good, hard questions, and your viewers get a chance to hear. This is kind of refreshing. I'll be sycophantic, but... Transportation Secretary Buttigieg was something of a Fox whisperer early in the campaign, seeming to relish mixing it up with the network's anchors to the point where he opened his Democratic convention speech by saying, "Hi, I'm Pete Buttigieg, and you might recognize me from Fox News." Gavin Newsom, Josh Shapiro, Rod Moskowitz, and Ro Khanna are among the other Democrats who have made guest appearances. Fox guest shots are largely confined to daytime. Yeah, because they don't want to show any of this, so they're not going to play any of them on primetime. While it usually doesn't make sense for a Democrat to go on a network fully committed to their defeat, it is an exception, said Dan Pfeiffer, co-host of Pod Save America and former aide of President Barack Obama. Democrat going into enemy territory is a great way to get attention and soften Republicans, and Republican-leaning independents is a top target for her campaign. Yes. Fox also argues that it is more independent and Fox News viewers... independent and Democratic viewers that it has more than people think. I mean, it is true. Like, that is true. But then again, it's a lot of hate watching. And also, you've got a lot of people like me that are just like, hey, sometimes we got to do it for our homework. Its audience size alone makes it tough to ignore. Fuck yeah, I hate that. Your host is 6 p.m. news hour. Who cares about that? Trump said on Truth Social that he would have preferred a more hard-hitting journalist conduct the Harris interview, saying Bear is often too soft on those in the cocktail circuit left. In the days before his interview with Harris, Bear took to social media to tamp down suspicions that the interview expressed by some viewers. No doubt, she already has a list of questions. I don't trust him. One user wrote on X, no one has the questions except me. Haha. To others who suspected the interview might be edited, he insisted it would be live. All right, the fact that he responded to this, you know that the guy that wrote this tweet almost shit himself when he actually got, responded to. That's how it always works, is, even for a small YouTuber like me, I've had a few people that leave, a really shitty comment. I'll just be like, dude, what was that about? And then they'll just be like, oh, I'm sorry. Then they'll delete the comment. And one guy, it was so funny. He was dogging on my channel really hard. Then when I did that, he respected it and then subscribed to the channel. So I was like, oh, okay. All right. Well, so Harris is hitting the circuit, which I'm all for, man. I think that she's doing Daily Show. I'm not 100% on that one. I know that, she did Howard. That was a great interview, by the way. She did The View. That was also pretty good. Joe Rogan was the one that I'm shocked, and I will be shocked if she actually goes through with it, and if Rogan goes through with it, because that puts him in a really tough spot where he then has to actually, interview Trump too, and then, it's I don't know. But let's come back up here. I think yeah, because I'm still searching for the other the betting polls, and I can't find them. You know what? Here, give me a second. There we go. There we go. Here. All right. So they got her at 56 out of 100 and Trump at 44 out of 100. So, yeah, it's not time to shit yourself yet, because there was, let me find it, because David Pakman was trying to do a little scaremongering, which, I'll be completely honest, part of the reason that I unsubscribed from him. Because, yeah, red alert, Trump takes lead, poised to become president. You know what? Screw it. You guys want to hate watch something together? Not exactly a Pac-Man guy anymore.
Welcome to the show. Hope you had a good long weekend. If you had one, I wish I could come back to you with great news, but I'm not starting with positive news today. And one of the things I promised you is that I will always tell you things as I see them. You can disagree with my conclusions.
Sorry.
You can say I'm leaving out this or that, and here is why I should have a different conclusion. But I will always tell you where I am seeing things. And where I am seeing things right now is that for the first time in a long time, really since Kamala Harris became the nominee, if you look at battleground state polling and assign states to the current leader, Donald Trump would have enough votes to secure the presidency. I'm going to talk you through it. Now, I know that there are many of you who say, David, I love your facial hair. I think your turtlenecks are great. But I don't like it when you give me negative information. We're going to have to deal with it, because that's where we are. Let me tell you first what doesn't so much matter. It is true that if we look at the national polling, Kamala Harris's lead is as small as it has been in 5 weeks.
Got it.
Kamala Harris's national polling lead had swelled to 2. maybe even 2.1, 2.2. It's now down to 1. Would rightly say correct.
All right, you know what? All right, I don't even need to see this because he's just going to say the same shit where it's about the Electoral College, which again brings us right back to it where it's like, don't you just love how these Electoral College assholes get to choose the president for us? Yeah, it's not like we need to abolish that or anything. Excuse me. Getting a little dry down here. I'm sorry. Again, he recorded this yesterday, and the polls are back up. And just personally for me, my opinion is I'd rather follow the betting pools because that whole put your money where your mouth is kind of thing. Well, with betting polls, they try, I tend to believe these because you have Republicans that are definitely voting against, or not voting against Trump, but they are betting against him, and it shows. So that's kind of the ones that I'm like, all right, well, when money's involved, that's when people tend to be a little more honest with themselves. On top of the fact that you have a lot of this new spin going on, especially in the mainstream media, where they're talking about how she's losing the male vote and how the female vote, they're literally making a battle of the sexes, which I'm so glad that we're letting the media just narrate our fucking demise and essentially curate it, because it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy right there where you're like, okay, well, number one, things are not as they keep saying, oh, well, the chauvinists are going to make sure that Kamala Harris doesn't get past, this certain point.
Welcome.
It's just like, what? Okay. If you say so. Oh, man. But we got one more poll here that I wanted to take a look at. There we go. The Insider Average poll. Wisconsin. Yeah, see, now here's the problem, and I will bring you back. Look at this. So I'm not sure if you see it clearly right here, but the Telegraph has Harris +1 in Wisconsin. However, Patriot Polling, Trump +1. So there was a story that was going around this weekend specifically about how there's swing polling going on, where you have a bunch of these people, a bunch of these pollsters that are oversampling Republicans. And I forgot, oh my God, Nate Silver. He came out and said that they want to be careful with that because they're dangerously close to doing what they did in 2022, where they are, with their oversampling, they're saying that this new red wave is coming. That was kind of like the hidden vote. And I don't personally see it, but time will tell. This is why I don't like doing predictions, but personally, I don't buy this. I think that a lot of this is media generated to just keep us paying attention to them for the few weeks that they got us. And if Trump, God forbid, wins, then, then they got their way, guys. Then he's back. And then the ratings will go back to, getting some of that fucking extra, whatever, the commercial money, ad revenue, whatever. I just got cynical as fuck, and it almost took all the energy out there, all the wind out of my sails, where I was just like, this really is just where we are, as a people, aren't we? That's great. And the fact that a lot of people would rather argue cultural issues than actually just be like, hey, we should actually have a conversation about our taxes and where they go, and instead of this blanket, I don't want to pay taxes. Meh. Literally got a referendum right now that would help everybody in this county, minus one specific neighborhood. But guess where all these signs came from? Guess who paid for all this shit? And all it says is vote no for tax, for new taxes. There's no education about the tax referendum, which I hate that shit. I absolutely hate that shit. Because, I mean, if the township really wanted it, they would go to every street corner and they would just be like, vote yes on tax referendum, whatever, or they would, market it a little bit better. But, what do I know? Excuse me. But we did it. We tackled these polls, guys, and I think that we got more of a clear view on what's going on than what even Mr. Pac-Man was trying to give us. Because again, dude, he's doing this fucking clickbaity bullshit that he always does. Like, dude, I'm so cynical on that guy. Fuck that guy. He is seriously one of the smuggest douchebags and just an aside, I have heard that in private, he's also kind of that way. So, but whatever. If you're a David Pakman fan, then please explain his appeal, because I was watching him during January 6th, and then, his coverage is... And it has nothing to do with, what he was trying to say there. Just because he also says that fucking, condescendingly, too, where he's just like, David, I don't like it when you give me negative information. David, I don't like it when you tell me a poll that contradicts my already self-fulfilled... or whatever, fucking my worldview. Honestly, I am hungry, so I think that it's time to call stream. So, but I appreciate you guys checking out the polls with me. Honestly, I would like to go more into depth with this stuff, but I also try to keep this as accessible to everybody else that, we don't got time for this shit. So. But if you like this stuff, if you like this content, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Trying to get to 1,000, pushing there. So I really appreciate you guys being here, and I'll see you in the next one.